Happy Sunday evening, and welcome to Quick Bite History Live, where we do our best to have a little fun with history. You can catch us live normally each Sunday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time. We have a challenging show for you here tonight with 3 fresh new categories all rolled up into one very unique game show. You'll be watching our robots paint. Listen to my clues, and you all make your guesses as we will first be counting down the top 20 Clint Eastwood movies. Then test your gaming knowledge with top 20 video games of all time. And then finally, we will learn all about the top 20 interesting facts about Socrates. So I can't wait for that round. And if you all stick around, we do have a bonus round available for the hardcore enthusiasts later on. Now, please do check in the chat. Say hello. Feel free to comment. If I see those questions coming in, I'll do my best to address those as we go. Hey, there's Arena. How you doing? Good to see you. Anyway, so this should be interesting tonight. We've got kind of a couple new different kind of categories, so we'll see how it goes. All right, here we go. We're going to start it up. Now, this will be the top 20 Clint Eastwood movies. And the thing to keep in mind is these are movies he was either the actor or the director. So sometimes he didn't star in the movies. Anyway, keep that in mind as I give you the clues. This film follows an elderly man caught smuggling illegal goods across state lines. It was inspired by a true story of a 90-year-old drug courier. The protagonist gets entangled with a dangerous cartel. Clint Eastwood directed and starred in the film at the age of 88. His character chooses crime to escape financial hardship. All right, who knows what this one is? Stuart's in the house. And he's got the answer. Very good. Very good. This was Eastwood's first time acting and directing in the same film since doing Gran Torino in 2008. So he went 10 years without both starring and directing. This is called The Mule, of course. Stuart had it. The Mule was what year? Any guesses? Well, I'm going to tell you. 2018. All right, there it is. First one. Now remember, it could be directed, could be starred, could be both. Here we go. Number 19. This film features an escaped convict and a kidnapped young boy. Clint Eastwood plays a Texas Ranger on the convict's trail. Kevin Costner stars as the sympathetic fugitive. The story explores morality, justice, and fatherhood. Anybody remember this movie? Gotta tell you, I didn't see it. I'm sorry. The film was directed by Eastwood and focused on Costner's character. I guess Eastwood plays kind of a cameo as the Texas Ranger. Any guesses? I guess it's a little obscure, but we are doing top 20, so you might have a couple of obscure ones in there. Despite strong critical reviews, this movie is often overlooked in Eastwood's filmography. Yes, we've overlooked it. It's called A Perfect World. A Perfect World. Perfect World. It was filmed in 1993. Oh, you know it. Very good, Stuart. Ah, you know it. Very good. Number 18. A woman fights against corrupt police in 1920s Los Angeles. They're all good, probably, right, Stuart? They're all good. Angelina Jolie plays the determined mother. Authorities try to convince her that a different boy is her son. Now, this one was directed by Clint Eastwood. His gripping true story exposes institutional corruption. Remember the name of this one? Angelina Jolie. Any guesses? Well, going once, going twice. This movie was called The Changeling. Changeling. 2008. The real-life case led to a major police reforms in Los Angeles. Huh. Interesting. There you go. Changeling. Who knew? Not me. All right, this one's an obscure but one that stars Eastwood. Long time ago. I'm going to give you the date, 1974. A classic buddy heist film featuring a veteran criminal and a young thief. This story includes a daring bank robbery using an anti-aircraft cannon. It doesn't sound that daring to me. That sounds kind of like just let's break it in. Yeah, you got it, Stuart. Clint Eastwood plays the seasoned thief Thunderbolt. Jeff Bridges plays the reckless but charming Lightfoot. Is one of Eastwood's lesser-known crime thrillers, but gained a cult following. Yeah, Jeff Bridges. I like Jeff Bridges. A little liberal for me these days, but I like him. Yeah, the movie was called Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. Stewart had it. Jeff Bridges was nominated for an Oscar for his performance in this film. Not Clint, Jeff. Clint was always mistreated by the Academy. All right, this one's kind of interesting. This one again is a directing one by Eastwood. A real life aviation hero faces intense scrutiny. The story centers around an emergency landing on a river. I don't know if you remember this news story in America. We all remember this news story pretty well. Tom Hanks portrays the calm and collected pilot. Yeah, this was quite the story over here. The film explores the emotional aftermath of a seemingly miraculous event. It was directed by Clint Eastwood, and it tells the story of Captain Chesley Sully Sullenberger. What was the name of the movie? If I remember? Yeah, you got it. You got it. That's right, it was Sully. Sully. 2016. The real Sully praised the film's accuracy and Eastwood's directorial style. There you go. Tom Hanks. All right, let's get into some real Clint Eastwood. Let's get into some real stuff. A mysterious drifter arrives in a troubled mining town. He wore a preacher's collar, but carries a deadly secret. Incorrect, Brad. What's going on, man? Hang on to that answer for later. The film shares themes of classic Shane. Oh, the classic Shane. It has similar themes to Shane back in 1953. If you remember our Western show a couple weeks back, those were pretty hard. Clint Eastwood plays the enigmatic preacher in this movie. Yeah, preacher was the character. You're right. And yeah, Pale Rider is, of course, the movie. Who knows the year? This was Eastwood's highest grossing Western of all time. Highest grossing Western. If I remember the year of Pale Rider. Just to add a little difficult twist. It was 1985. 1985. All right, this one's cool. Based on a true story about a legendary prison break. The protagonist is a mastermind who plots an impossible escape. The film meticulously recreates the infamous island prison. Yeah, there you go. You got it. I guess Brad got it first. He's got the faster internet. That was pretty close. It's a tense, methodical thriller and with minimal dialogue. Clint Eastwood plays a real-life inmate, Frank Morris. King's in the house. What's going on? Anyway, we played Frank Morris, and who knows the year of this movie? The real-life escapees were never found, leaving their fate a mystery. This is, of course, Escape from Alcatraz. You guys all had it. And it was a long time ago that they made this movie. 1979. There you go. We're doing Clint Eastwood tonight. These are movies he either starred in or directed or maybe did both, like this next one. An aging war veteran struggles with his changing neighborhood. He reluctantly befriends a Hmong teenager. The protagonist has a gruff exterior, but a strong moral code. Yeah, you got it. King's got it. He stands up to gang violence in his community. Clint Eastwood delivers one of his most memorable late career performances. You have to qualify that. Late career. El Camino. I like that answer, Timothy. It's like an El Camino, only it's not an El Camino. It's a Gran Torino. 2008. Eastwood's character drives a 1972 Grand Torino, a car that symbolizes his old school values. There you go. Get off my lawn. That's right. Get off my lawn. Hey, Matthew, what's going on? Everybody's in the house. Good to see everybody tonight. We are doing Clint Eastwood movies. A war biopic based on the life of a decorated Navy SEAL. The protagonist struggles with psychological toll of combat. The film was both controversial and widely praised. Bradley Cooper underwent intense training for the role. There you go. King. King is king. Directed by Clint Eastwood, it tells the story of sniper Chris Kyle. Who knows the year? For American Sniper is the movie. American Sniper. And what year did they make it? The film became Eastwood's highest-grossing movie, earning over $500 million worldwide. 500 million, not bad. 2015, pretty close. 2014 is the correct answer. That was very close. Close enough for horseshoes and hand grenades in this case. There you go. We're down to number 11. This one's a little harder, a little more obscure. Good luck with this. A World War II film told from an unusual perspective. It focuses on Japanese soldiers rather than American troops. The movie is almost entirely in Japanese. What? No wonder I didn't see it. It's entirely Japanese. It was filmed back to back with Flags of Our Fathers. It was directed by Clint Eastwood. It was praised for its humanizing portrayal of the enemy. So it humanized the enemy. All things small miss small. No. It's a Japanese soldier. Anybody know? Yeah, that's it. Good job. Stuart knew it. Very good. Letters from Iwo Jima. 2006. This film won the Golden Globe for Best Foreign Language Film. Oh, Matthew. That's got to be it. Matthew had it. I can't take the time to translate. All right, next up. A crime drama about childhood friends reunited by tragedy. A murder investigation drives them apart. The film explores themes of trauma and justice. All right, who wants the key clue? You guys ready? Sean Penn and Tim Robbins give powerhouse performances. This one again is directed by Clint Eastwood, and it won 2 Academy Awards. 2 Academy Awards. Anybody remember the name of this movie? Yeah, King. King's in the house. Any guesses on the year? For Mystic River is the correct answer. The film is based on a novel by Dennis Lehane, also known for Gone, Baby Gone. Gone, Baby Gone. Not familiar. Not familiar. Mystic River, you have it. Very good. 2003. 2003. Yeah. All right. This was not my favorite. Probably isn't your favorite either. A rare romance film in Clint Eastwood's career. It tells the story of a brief but intense love affair. Meryl Streep plays his love interest when she was a little younger. I'm terrible. The film is adapted from a best-selling novel. It is one of Eastwood's most emotional roles. Most emotional roles. Yes, Stewart has it. That is correct. That is correct. The Bridges of Madison County. This was made in 1985. The real covered bridges of Madison County became tourist attractions after the film's release. Well, I bet they were unhappy with that. That couldn't have made them happy. Nice. Matthew. All right, here we go. 8 more. Now we're getting into the serious Clint Eastwood stuff, right? Top 8. A rogue detective delivers his own brand of justice. The villain is a sadistic sniper terrorizing San Francisco. Here's the key clue. Do you feel lucky, punk? Is one of the most famous movie quotes. That's correct. You guys have it. Yes. Yes. Stewart, you beat out the king. Well, do you? Well, do you? The protagonist carries a .44 Magnum revolver. What's the name of the character? Who knows the name of the character? This is, of course, the Dirty Harry movie. All the way back in 1971. And Clint Eastwood plays who does he play? Yeah, correct. Harry Callahan. Correct. You got it. And somebody brought up this point a couple weeks ago. The movie was inspired by the real life Zodiac killer case. Somebody brought that up a couple weeks ago. I remember. Very good. Dirty Harry. The first of the serious Clint Eastwood films. Number 7. This one's slightly more obscure. This is 1965, to give you a clue. A sequel, it was a sequel too, that surpasses the predecessor in scope. A bounty hunter teams up with a rival for a high-stakes job. The film is part of the iconic Dollars trilogy. Lee Von Cleef plays a key role alongside Eastwood. Yeah, you guys knew it. Stewart and King both have this one. How'd you guys know it? For a few dollars more. For a few dollars more. 1965. Directed by Sergio Leone. It helped cement the spaghetti western genre. Yes, it did. The musical pocket watch motif adds a unique emotional depth of the story. I don't really remember that. The pocket watch? Are you guys related to the pocket watch? Hey, Rumbus is in the house. We got 6 more Clint Eastwood films, Rumbus. Here we go. A washed-up boxing trainer reluctantly takes on a female fighter. The story explores perseverance, regret, and redemption. The film takes a dramatic turn that shocked audiences. Excuse me. Hilary Swank delivers an Oscar-winning performance. Yeah. You guys all get it. I guess King had it first, I think. King had it first, but you all have it. Clint Eastwood both directed and starred as the tough but caring coach. Who remembers the year for $1 Million Baby? $1 Million Baby. The film won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress, and Best Supporting Actor at the Oscars. $1 Million Baby. Oh, King has it. King knows. 2004 is correct. All right. We're down to the top 5 Clint Eastwood films. That was a lowly number 6. There you go. $1 Million Baby. See you later. Number 5. A Civil War soldier turns into a fugitive after his family is killed. He's pursued by Union soldiers and bounty hunters. Along the way, he forms an unlikely family of misfits. Yes, he does. The film is considered one of the greatest westerns of all time. Stuart has it. Stuart has it. Yeah, this is one of my favorites for a long time. So this came out the year that I graduated from high school. So who knows that? Well, let's get a different way. Clint Eastwood plays the vengeful but honorable Josie Wales. The famous line, "Dying ain't much of a living, boy." I barely remember that. "Dying ain't much of a living, boy," became one of Eastwood's most quoted lines. Let's see. Well, was there an original version, Stuart? Brad has it. I wonder why Brad would have it. King has it too. 1976 is correct. Okay, top 4. A mysterious stranger arrives in a corrupt frontier town. The townspeople hire him for protection, but they soon regret it. Yeah, no doubt. The town hides a dark secret about a past crime. Yes, you guys know it. You guys know your Clint Eastwood. The film has eerie, almost supernatural undertones. Clint Eastwood plays a vengeful drifter in one of his most haunting westerns. Haunting western. Correct. Who knows the year of this one? Anybody want to guess at the year? Eastwood took inspiration from his mentor, Sergio Leone, but added a darker, more surreal tone to this western. So this is a Clint Eastwood film versus the other ones were Sergio Leone. Yeah, High Plains Drifter. You guys all have that. And the year is 1973, so very close. Very close. That's cool. So yeah, I guess the Sergio Leone movies were in the mid '60s, and then Eastwood did his own High Plains Drifter. There you go. All right, let's go back for number 3. A lone gunslinger arrives in a small town caught in a feud. Sounds like a usual story. He plays 2 rival factions against each other for his own gain. This film was a remake of the Japanese classic Yojimbo. Did you know that? Yes, you guys know it. Very good. Like Stuart had it first there. Very good. You guys all know this. It introduced Clint Eastwood's Man with No Name. So this was the first time the Man with No Name. It was the first spaghetti western to launch him into stardom. And you guys know it's Fistful of Dollars. And yeah, what was the Jimbo thing? Yojimbo. Who knows the year? Anybody know the year? Fistful of Dollars. This film made on a small budget, but became a worldwide success, forever changing the Western genre. It's a film that did it. Close enough. 1964. Back in the day. All right, let's come into a little more modern era. Let's do one that he both starred and directed, huh? A retired outlaw is pulled back into violence for one last job. The film questions the morality of revenge and justice. Most of his movies do. It won 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. You were correct. You guys know this. You guys know this. You guys know this. Who's the other actor? Who's the other famous actor that just passed away that was in this movie? Who knows that? Clint Eastwood directs and stars as the legendary. I'm going to ask you for his character's name, too. Clint Eastwood's character and the other famous star in this movie that just passed away. Morgan Freeman's still alive. Stuart, you got it. Gene Hackman was a classic character in this. And do you remember Eastwood's character's name in this? It was kind of unusual. A little bit of a weird name. Eastwood dedicated the film to his mentors, Sergio Leone and Don Siegel, who helped shape his career. Those 2 guys. Yeah, you guys all got it. Good movie, for sure. His character's name was William Mooney. Money. William Money or Mooney. M-U-N-N-Y. All right, number 1, with a bullet. 3 gunslingers race to find buried treasure during the Civil War. The film features one of the most famous musical scores ever. Huh. Didn't know that part. The final showdown is one of the greatest in film history. There you go. Yeah. You guys know it. You guys know it. I think, Stuart, you probably had it first. Everybody. Oh, I like the way Matthew abbreviates it, though. Very clever. Eli Wallach and Levon Cleave co-star alongside Clint Eastwood. It's directed by Sergio Leone. It's considered the greatest Western of all time. I thought that other one was, but I guess not. I guess it's this one. Who knows the year for the good, the bad, and the ugly? The famous Ecstasy of Gold theme by Ennio Morricone is still used in modern pop culture, including Metallica's concerts. What? Ennio Morricone is still used in modern pop culture and Metallica comics. You familiar with that? Close enough. 60. Yeah, Matthew's got 66. 1966. All right. Well, that was dang fun, huh? You guys did pretty good, and it was fun, and all that. Needless to say, now you know. All right. So this next one, is not my cup of tea. So hopefully you guys know it. Let me fire it up. All right, you know the rules, robots. Paint, you guess. I give some clues along the way. We are going to do the top 20 video games. So yeah, video games is not really my cup of tea. So, and you got to get the version because some of them are repeated in here a few times because the series was so good, but you got to get the version right for the top 20 video games of all time. The first one is a fighting game where iconic characters from multiple franchises clash. And these are not in order. They're not in like sequential order. They're in rated order. This is gonna be hard. One of the most popular competitive games in esports history. Exclusive to Nintendo and GameCube. It features Mario, Link, Pikachu, and 23 other Nintendo characters. All right, who knows what this? Oh, you know it. Rhombus. Rhombus is our video game expert. Yes. I prefer tea over coffee, Stuart. Although I don't really drink much of either one. You know what I'm trying now is something called methylene blue. Methylene blue, so look that up. Anyway, you got that correct. It is the Super Smash Brothers Melee from 2001. This game was developed in just 13 months, an incredibly short time for a game of this scope. All right, number 19. Get into it. Looking for the right version. This game takes place in a doomed world with a 3-day time loop. No idea. The protagonist uses different masks to gain special powers. It's the darkest entry of the franchise. A creepy moon looms over the world. Well, that sounds cool. A creepy moon. I like that. Looms over the whole game. The direct sequel to Ocarina of Time. I don't know what any of these things are. Do you have any idea? Yes. Now, which? Oh, you have. Oh, Rhombus. See, Rhombus is right on it. He had the right answer in the very beginning, of course. Okay, Rhombus, what year? What year was this released? The game's development took only a year using the same engine as Ocarina of Time to speed up production. I don't know what any of these things are. It was year 2000. Turn of the century. So I got to read the proper answer. The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask. There you go. Number 18. One of the only games in the list that I'm familiar with. A first-person shooter that defined a console generation. It introduced an iconic sci-fi hero and a ring-shaped world. It revolutionized multiplayer gaming on consoles. Well, okay, but you know I'm looking for a more specific answer. Okay, you all know it's Halo, but what version? Was it the first one? I think it's the first one. Maybe it's the second one. Which one was the best? The game launched the Xbox brand and it must be the first one, led to one of the game's biggest franchises. Halo 1. That's what I would say too. Halo 1. Okay, the robots are telling me the name was Combat Evolved. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Halo, Combat Evolved. 2001. Yeah, protagonist is super soldier known as Master Chief. The original game was planned as an RTS before being reworked as an FPS. Oh, first person shooter. I got that part. What's RTS? Okay, we're going to learn by the end. Number 17. This is a stealth game with a cinematic story. Introduced advanced AI, where enemies react to noise and footprints. It features an ex-soldier infiltrating a nuclear weapons facility. Yeah, you guys know it. But King beat Rhombus. Okay, now tell me what year. What year did this come out? The main antagonist is the player's genetically enhanced twin brother. The game was created by Hideo Kojima. This game made stealth gameplay mainstream. Pretty close. Yeah, Matthew's got it. 1998. The game has a fourth wall breaking moment where a boss reads the player's memory card. That's weird. Okay. Never played it. Sounds cool. Now I have played the next one. I'll have you know. As an architect, I like the next one. All right, we're down to number 16. This is known as a sandbox game with no set objectives. Well, that's not as fun. No set objectives. Players mine, craft, and survive in an endless world. It features pixelated, blocky graphics. Yeah, you guys know, of course. This was pretty easy, right? It became the best-selling video game of all time. Did you know that little fact? Players can build anything from castles to entire cities using only blocks. Yeah, so I enjoy building with the blocks. There's systems. There's like you gotta figure it out. Not all this dark change guns constantly thing. A little easier. That's right, Minecraft 2011. Minecraft was originally created by a single developer, Marcus Notch Person. Persson. Space engineers. Never heard of it. I told you this isn't my thing. I did play a lot of World of Warcraft, but I guess it's not in this category for some reason. Played World of Warcraft with my kids when they were in college. We stayed in touch by playing World of Warcraft together. Anyway, here we go. Number 15. Survival horror game with over-the-shoulder aiming. The main character searches for the president's kidnapped daughter. It introduced quick timing events during boss fights. Nope, nope. Nobody's got it yet. The game reinvented the third-person shooter genre. Third-person shooter. It follows Leon S. Kennedy battling the infected in a rural Spanish village. Sounds very specific. Oh, very close, Rhombus. Very close. You one off. I don't know. You get close enough for me. This game was originally planned as a Devil May Cry entry before evolving into a new Resident Evil experience. This is Resident Evil 4. Which I don't know what the difference would be between Resident Evil 3 and Resident Evil 4. No idea. Oh, I got the allergies going tonight, guys. Woo! It's like spring has sprung already. Early spring here in South Carolina. Here we go! A post-apocalyptic survival game. It features a gripping story about a man and a teenage girl. I think there's been a TV show about this now, right? Introduces terrifying fungus-infected zombie-like creatures. Yeah, in the TV series, it's pretty creepy. Received near universal praise for its emotional depth. Yes, correct. Mama. It follows Joel and Ellie trying to survive in a brutal, broken world. A brutal, broken world. Yes, correct. Correct. You know what? When the game, so obviously the game came out before the show, right? So I don't know. Was it a book first and then a game, or what's the story? What's the backstory? The game's enemy was AI. The game's enemy AI was designed to react realistically to the player's actions, making combat more intense. Last of Us. This was all the way back in 2013. So the game came first, right? Am I right on that? I don't know. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm not. Number 13. Yeah, I've never heard of this. There we go. An open world RPG filled with dragons and magic. Well, that sounds like World of Warcraft. Players can choose to be warriors, mages, thieves, or anything in between. Yeah, that sounds like World of Warcraft. Why isn't World of Warcraft on this list? Features a vast world with endless quests. Who knows this list? The game has been re-released on nearly every modern platform. The player is the Dragonborn, a chosen hero with power to shout dragons out of the sky. Now that's a powerful voice. Correct. It seems like King knows it. Now, King, you've only given me one word in the title. That's the version. Yeah, Elders. There you go. Robin has the complete answer. I guess we have to give it to King, but Robin did have the more complete answer. This is the year 2011. The Elder Scrolls 5. And how do you say that? Skyrim? Skyrim's famous line, "I used to be an adventurer like you, then I took an arrow to the knee." Became a meme worldwide. Okay, whatever. Got it. Number 12. Look, I've heard of this one. The game that started a global phenomenon. Players travel a world capturing and battling creatures. It introduced 151 unique creatures. Sounds complicated. All right, so the general answer. Oh, there you go. Rhombus once again has the complete and full answer. Now, and on this one, you actually have to have two dates of when it was released. Who knows the two dates? This sounds hard. Players choose between Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur. The rivals' default name, Blue or Gary. Blue or Gary. I was going to say Blue or Gray, but it says Gary. Was inspired by the game's creator's childhood rival. That's interesting. 1996 and 98. Can you believe it's that long ago? 96 and 98. Wow. Pokemon Red and Blue. All right. Now I'm familiar with the next one, and I did have maybe the first game of this series, but they say this is the best of the series here. An open world crime game set in a fictional version of Los Angeles. Players control 3 different characters in an intertwined story. I think I played the first version of this on like Xbox or something. The online multiplayer mode became a massive hit. Now, that sounds scary. It features heists, high-speed chases, and satirical humor. Let's see. Matthew. King had it first. I guess King had it first. Matthew had it right behind. Grand Theft Auto number 5. Grand Theft Auto number 5. Anybody have a guess on, how about this? A guess on how much money it made in the first 3 days. How much money did this game make in the first 3 days? 2013 is the year. It made a lot of money. Very good. Pretty close. It made $1 billion in the first 3 days. There you go. All right, number 10. Now we need to be specific. One of the first major 3D platformers. Players explore different worlds through paintings. Introduced a revolutionary camera system. Players collect power stars to unlock new areas. The game stars Nintendo's mascot Mario on a mission to save Princess Peach. That sounds familiar. Yeah, so you all got versions of the correct answer, and if you put them all together, you've got it. This is Super Mario 64. Super Mario 64. Who knows the year? A long time ago. Super Mario 64 introduced many mechanics that are still used in modern 3D platformers today. Platformers. So what's a platformer? Is that like it's only on Xbox or it's only on those things? Is that what that is? Is that what that means? It's only on Nintendo. 96 is correct. Very good. You are correct. 96. Very good. We're down to number 9. Top video games of all time. We are counting them down, and we're down to number 9. A notoriously difficult action RPG. Difficult? Well, that's why I never saw it. The game has cryptic storytelling and hidden lore. You died became an iconic gaming phrase. So the big voice comes over the thing, you died. Features methodical combat and punishing enemies. Yeah, you guys know it. Robots. Created by From Software, it defined the Souls-like genre. I don't know what that is, but Dark Souls, 2011. You are correct. The interconnected world design of Dark Souls is still studied as one of the best in game development history. The interconnected world design of Dark Souls is still studied as one of the best game development in history. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I've never heard of it, so Rhombus is on it. Do you play every one of these, Rhombus? Hard to have enough time. All right, now I have no idea what this is, but maybe you guys do. I'm going to give you the year to help out. 1995. A time-traveling RPG with multiple endings. Features a seamless battle system with no random encounters. I don't know what that means. Developed by the creators of Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest. Rhombus. Oh, correct. The game's story alters based on player choices. Oh, if you make choices, it changes. Well, that's good. One of the most beloved RPGs of all time, starring a hero named Chrono. This is the Chrono Trigger, of course. 1995. The game's composer, you call them composers, I guess, Yasunori Mitsuda, worked so hard on the soundtrack, the composer of the music, okay, that he fell ill and had to be hospitalized. He worked too hard on it. That's a bit of trivia. That's an unusual bit of trivia. All right, number 7. Now I did play this. This is back in my day. A simple but addictive puzzle game. Players must arrange falling blocks into complete lines. The game has been released on almost every gaming platform. The catchy theme song is instantly recognizable. Yes, correct. Everybody seems to know this one. And this is the version I'm looking for. So I'm looking for the year of this. When was it first made? Who knows? One of the best-selling and most played games in history, Tetris, was created by a Soviet scientist. That's how old it is. It's Soviet technology. Alexei Pajitnov, who originally didn't make money because of Soviet copyright laws. Yeah, close. King's very close. 1984, believe it or not, when the Soviet Union was still around. And he didn't get paid because he was a communist. Right? No entrepreneurial stuff going on in Soviet Russia. Now, I've heard of this one, and I haven't played it because it's not on any of my platforms. An open-world Western with a deep emotional story. It features breathtaking graphics and realistic physics. The protagonist is Arthur Morgan, a complex outlaw. Aren't they all complex? Correct. King has it. Rhombus has it. Next. Oh, well, Rhombus is the one that had the 2 on it. So I guess we have to give it to Rhombus, even though King had it first. Because the robots are telling me they want Red Dead Redemption 2 is the correct answer. 2018. This was a prequel to Red Dead Redemption set in the dying days of the Wild West. Huh. The game has over 500,000 lines of dialogue, making it one of the most detailed stories ever in gaming. Yeah, so I always wanted to play this, but why, they never made it for the Mac. It was always like a PC thing, right? Like a PC game, or it was on, what other platform was it on? It was on PC originally, and I always had a Mac. So there you go. All right, number 5. This was a revolutionary first-person shooter. It features a silent protagonist and a deep sci-fi story. It introduced realistic physics-based gameplay. Players use a gravity gun to manipulate objects. Who knows this one? Yeah, Rhombus knows. Play this one, Rhombus. The sequel to Half-Life, it's widely considered the sequel to Half-Life, that makes sense. It's widely considered one of the greatest FPS first-person shooter games ever made. The game's physics engine was so advanced that other developers used it as the foundation of their own games. Half-Life 2 from 2004. So I'm just happy that I've learned tonight that FPS means first-person shooter. Learn something every day on Quick Bite History Live. There you go. Next up, number 4. We're down to the top 4. We're getting there. Now you got to be specific. A groundbreaking action-adventure game. This introduced the Z targeting system for 3D combat. It features a hero traveling between childhood and adulthood. The player must collect medallions to stop an evil king, like always. Yeah. So I don't know what a Osuraba is, but it's close. It is The Legend of Zelda. It is the Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time. I don't know what that means. The Nintendo 64 Classic stars Link in its quest to stop Gandalf. Oh, Ganondorf. Sorry, it's different. Ganondorf, not Gandalf. Ocarina of Time held the title of the highest rated game of all time for years and still ranks among the best. 1998, way back. All right, we're down to the top 3. The game that saved the video game industry. This is the one. Players run from left to right, avoiding enemies and pitfalls. The main character collects coins and power-ups. The first world begins with an iconic green pipe and a Goomba. I think this is the original one. This is the game that saved the video game industry. This NES Classic introduced Mario and Bowser to millions of gamers. All right, so NES, what's that stand for? NES. Let me know what NES stands for. I'm going to learn something. The Minus World glitch in Super Mario Brothers is one of the most famous glitches in gaming history. The Minus World. That sounds interesting. Yeah, this is just the Super Mario Brothers, like original Super Mario Brothers. Oh, Nintendo Entertainment System. Thank you. They use lots of abbreviations in this, I found. The robots think I'm hipper than I am. All right, number two. He tries harder. An open world RPG role-playing game, right? With deep storytelling. Players hunt monsters and make difficult moral choices. The game's world reacts to the player's decisions. Yeah, you got it. I don't know how you get the numbers right. I don't get that part. I guess the most popular ones, maybe? I don't know. You seem to get the numbers right, too. It features a card-based mini-game called Gwent. That's confusing. Starring Geralt of Rivia. Geralt of Rivia, or Geralt. This game set a new standard for RPG. Yes, you guys know. It's The Witcher. Witcher 3. And King explains that it's called Wild Hunt. That's correct, Wild Hunt. The developers spent over 3 years designing the game's side quests to ensure they were as engaging as the main story. So I did play World of Warcraft, so I kind of know what a side quest is. I don't know why World of Warcraft isn't on here. Good deal. That's my game. I had a rogue. I was a rogue. I like to gank lobies out in the Badlands. All right, last one. Number one with a bullet. A vast open world adventure where players can explore freely. It features a stamina system for climbing and gliding. The game allows creative problem solving and physics-based interactions. This is number one. The story revolves around awakening from a long slumber to stop Calamity Ganon. Calamity Ganon. It's considered one of the most innovative and immersive open world games ever made. Who knows what this one is? Number one, fairly recent, 2017. Yes. You are correct. It is The Legend of Zelda. And it's called The Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild was originally developed for the Wii U before being reworked as a Nintendo Switch launch title. There you go. Well, you guys seem to know them pretty well. All right, so the next one's going to be interesting. It's going to be the 20 interesting facts about Socrates. So we're going to be illustrating interesting facts. Let me get it started and we'll talk about it more. Let's see how you guys handle it. Okay, you know the rules, robots paint. You guess, I give some clues along the way. And this time we're going to be doing the top 20 interesting facts about Socrates. Now this will be a little different, probably a little harder, depending on your knowledge of Socrates. We are guessing facts about the historical figure. So the clues I give are going to be as important as the image, certainly, that the robots create. No matter what, we will learn something here. Okay, there's my qualifier. Number 20. Unlike many ancient philosophers, he left behind no written works. Well, that includes almost the answer. Everyone we know about him comes from secondhand accounts. So we're looking for a basic fact about Socrates. His most famous student documented his teaching. Plato and Xenophon recorded most of his dialogue. Yeah, Socrates. That's the guy. What's a little known fact about Socrates that we're looking for here? His ideas survived only through the writings of others. Now, why would that be? Why would the writings only? If not for Plato, we might know almost nothing about Socrates today. So what's this little known fact about Socrates that we're looking for? I'm going to tell you, and we're going to try to work into this, and by the end, we're going to be good at it. Socrates never wrote anything down. Never wrote anything down. Basic fact about Socrates. There you go. That's the first one. All right, now you know how it's played. Let's do the next one. Number 19. Before becoming a philosopher, he worked with his hands. We're looking for facts about Socrates. He belonged to a family of craftsmen in Athens. His physical labor contrasted with his intellectual pursuits. Some claimed he helped build the Parthenon. Socrates was a blank before dedicating his life to philosophy. Yeah, you pretty much got it. He was a stone cutter by trade, is what we're looking for. Socrates was a stone cutter. His practical background might have influenced his down-to-earth style of questioning. There you go. Socrates is a stone cutter. These little known facts are starting to add up. Hopefully you're writing all these down, right? Even though he never wrote anything down. You guys can write it down. All right, let's try the next one. Number 18. We'll see how this whole round goes. Oh, I got my little picture too small down here. Let's go back to this way. Okay, that's better. Okay. Now this is a little known fact about Socrates. Unlike the Greek idol, he was not considered handsome. His looks were often mocked by his contemporaries. He had a broad nose and bulging eyes. Did you know that? He was described as looking more like a satyr than a noble thinker. What's the little known fact? Socrates had famously unkept and unusual appearance. So there you go. There's the answer. Socrates was known for his odd appearance. That's not something good to be known by, really, at the time. Despite his looks, he attracted many followers due to his wisdom and wit. There you go. So, I don't know, does he kind of look funny there? I think he kind of looks, his appearance is odd. All right. Lived in poverty might be one of the, hang on to that answer. Hang on to that one. See, you guys know a little bit about Socrates, so just hang on to those answers. Now, this one's a little more straightforward. Like the stonecutter one kind. He participated in several battles during wartime. He fought bravely in the Peloponnesian War. His military service earned him respect in Athens. He once saved a famous general's life in battle. So we're looking for the basic facts about Socrates that's described by these clues. There you go, Rhombus. Rhombus has the idea. Do you know what a soldier is called in that Greek world? Do you know what a soldier is called? Socrates was a heavy infantry soldier known as a... It's a hoplite. Hoplite. Never heard of it. He showed great courage in battle, which later mirrored his fearless approach to philosophy. I knew there was a tie-in. All right, well, you kind of get the idea. I don't know how fun it is. But you got the idea. Socrates was a hoplite. Yeah. All right, number 16 is next. That was good. Well, the doctor's in the house. He questioned how society chose its leaders. He feared that uninformed citizens could make poor decisions, like nowadays. He believed that governance should be left to the wise. His criticism of Athenian politics made him unpopular. So, he argued for the rule by the knowledgeable. So what's the basic fact? It's described by these points. He was a rebel rouser. Yeah, that could be the answer for sure. Some believe these views indirectly might have led to his trial and execution, although that's not what they said in the recent ones. Anyway, the fact I'm looking for is he opposed democracy. Did you know that? I bet you didn't know that. Socrates opposed democracy. There you go. All right. These are hard. These are a little weird. But we do learn things here on Quick Bite History Live. All right. There's a basic fact here that we're looking for. I'll give you some clues all the way around it. He never had a formal school, but his ideas shaped many. His influence spread across multiple philosophical movements. He taught both wealthy aristocrats and ordinary citizens. Two of his students founded major schools of thought. Plato and Xenophon were among his most famous students. Without Socrates, there would be no Plato or Aristotle shaping Western philosophy forever. correct. You did have web feet. So the answer I'm looking for is he was a mentor to many influential thinkers. I don't know how you're ever going to come up with that, but he is. Basic fact is he was a mentor to many influential thinkers. There you go. So this is mostly an educational experience and kind of a game. It's kind of a game. Next up. He believed his role was to provoke and challenge society. He made people uncomfortable with his relentless questioning. He saw Athens as a slow-moving horse in need of stimulation. Like what kind of stimulation? He likened himself to an insect that bites to keep others awake. All right. So the answer is he considered himself a gadfly of Athens. This metaphor was later used to describe people who challenged the status quo. So if you've heard the word gadfly, I guess that's where it comes from. Socrates used it to describe people who challenge the status quo. Socrates. There he is. All right. Down to number 13. Hopefully we're learning something. All right. We're looking for a basic fact. His teaching involved asking endless questions. What's that called? What's that called? It forced people to examine their own beliefs. This method is still widely practiced in education. Law schools use it to train students in critical thinking. There you go. See? Every once in a while, the game works. You are correct. Socrates' questioning technique remains a foundation of philosophy and debate. The Socratic method, of course. The Socratic method is still used today. The Socratic method inspired modern-day courtroom strategies and ethical discussions. Socratic method. There he is. He's using the Socratic method there in the picture. Yeah. Matthew was able to intuit what the hell I'm talking about. Because it's not very clear. But hopefully we're learning something. And I'm learning something on how to create a game. It's not exactly like this. All right. Number 12. His most famous quote suggests wisdom comes from ignorance. He constantly questioned what others claimed to know. His philosophy exposed contradictions in people's thinking. I hate that. This belief is often called the Socratic paradox. Now, this is interesting. This is a fact about Socrates that's interesting. Socrates famously said something, which is a paradox. This idea is the basis of modern skepticism and critical thinking. What did Socrates claim to know? Who knows what Socrates claimed to know? What did Socrates claim to know? That's a better way to ask the question. What did Socrates claim to know? Yeah, Rhombus. A winner. You're a winner. He claimed to know nothing, which is the paradox. See, that Socrates is a clever cat. Clever cat. All right, this is a basic fact about Socrates that you may already know. His teachings made powerful people uncomfortable. He encouraged young men to question authority. His influence led to many young Athenians challenging tradition. He was put on trial for this. Socrates was condemned for doing something to the young people of Athens. What did he do? It's not what you're thinking. It's not that. Although, maybe it was too. I don't know. What was he accused of? What was he on trial for? And the picture tells it all. Yeah, it's kind of like, but it's not that. He was accused of corrupting the youth of Athens. Corrupting the youth. But not in that way, I guess. He was condemned for corrupting the young minds with dangerous ideas. Okay, number 10. All right, this is a weird fact. He often spoke of an inner guiding force. It warned him when he was about to make a mistake. He believed it was a supernatural presence. This made people suspect him of having unorthodox beliefs. Yeah. Matthew has it, really. That's correct. That is correct. Socrates claimed to have a daimon, or a divine inner voice, which I believe fits with the internal dialogue that Matthew suggests. That is the correct answer. Some scholars think this might have been an early description of conscience. Oh, so he was trying to describe the fact that his mind was so busy with an internal dialogue, like Matthew says, that he called it, he had a mysterious divine inner voice. Interesting. They didn't know how to express that. First philosopher, I guess. There you go. Number 9. This is something Socrates did. Something Socrates did. It was curious. And I guess this is weird. He had no interest in acquiring riches. He lived a simple and frugal life. He believed wisdom was much more valuable than possessions. Despite chances to make money, he refused. Socrates lived in poverty by choice, focusing only on philosophy. Now, what would be that basic fact? I'll just tell you, because it's all of those. He rejected wealth and materialism. Socrates rejected wealth and materialism. His students, like Plato, came from wealthy families, but admired his lifestyle. And I don't know if this picture is capturing him rejecting wealth and materialism. Yes, yeah. There you go. You all got the idea. Doctor Rambas, he is a vagrant. He rejected wealth and materialism. That's the basic point I was looking for. This is kind of like Jeopardy, where you're looking for the question. I'll give you the answer, and you give me the question. Kind of like that. Kind of, sort of. All right. Oh, well, this was just kind of funny. She had a strong and outspoken personality. Many stories depict her as an argumentative. Some accounts say she once poured water on his head. That doesn't sound too bad. Their marriage was often described as turbulent. Socrates' wife, Xanthippe, had a reputation for being sharp-tongued. So the basic point is his wife, Xanthippe, was known for her fiery temper. You wouldn't have thought he was married, right? All that corrupting of youth. Some historians believe Xanthippe was exaggerated in stories to highlight Socrates' patience. There you go. Yeah, you got it, Stuart. Xanthippe. Is that the way I pronounced it? All right, what's the basic fact here? He often questioned traditional religious beliefs. His views made him a target for accusations. He was officially charged with impiety and corrupting the youth of Athens. He suggested that the gods might control human destiny. He suggested that the gods might not control human destiny. Socrates was accused of disrespecting the Greek gods. Yeah, I think he was. The robots say he was skeptical of the Greek gods, but I think calling him somewhat of a heretic is correct. He was disrespectful of the Greek gods. Some think he was more spiritual than aesthetic, simply questioning blind faith. There you go. Skeptical of the Greek gods. Did you know that? Well, he was. Got him in trouble, no doubt. All right, we got 6 more in this category, then we can move on. It's a good test. All right. Now, this is a fact, a little known fact. His followers devised a plan to help him flee Athens when he was arrested. He had the opportunity to live in exile instead of facing death. He believed in respecting the laws, even if they were unjust. That sounds kind of foolish. He argued that escaping would contradict his own teachings. Socrates willingly accepted his death sentence rather than escaping. Wow. So, basic fact is he could have escaped execution, but he chose not to. Crazy. Plato's Crito, Crito, details how Socrates refused to flee, arguing that laws must be obeyed even when they are flawed. I don't like that. It's like a weird philosophy. What do you guys think? He could have fled, but he chose not to. Okay. Number 5. Basic fact. His final moments were spent in philosophical discussion. His calm acceptance of death was admired by many. His legacy shaped the ideas of later thinkers. His student Plato carried on his teachings after his execution. So, that's correct, Stuart. So, the basic fact here is his death inspired future philosophers. Many philosophers, including Marcus Aurelius. Now, who's Marcus Aurelius? You guys remember who Marcus Aurelius is? Saw his death as a model of wisdom and virtue. Marcus Aurelius. All right, we're almost done. 4 more. Marcus Aurelius, yes, the Roman emperor. The best Roman emperor, right? I think that's what he's often portrayed as. The philosopher king almost. Anyway, let's see. Okay, this is a weird little fact. His execution came after Athens suffered a great military defeat. So this is a little side fact about why did they even put Socrates on trial, because it sounded pretty skimpy charges. The city was in turmoil and looking for someone to blame. He had made many enemies by questioning authority. His association with controversial figures made him a target. Socrates was condemned in part because Athens needed a scapegoat. The basic fact is that his whole trial was a political scapegoat situation. Did you know that? Many believe that if Athens had been thriving at the time, he might never have been put on trial. So, Athens had just lost the battle, they weren't doing so well, so they said, hey, let's put this guy on trial. There you go. He was the patsy. Patsy. Yes, Stuart. Marcus Aurelius. Gladiator 1. Cool situation. Okay, basic fact about Socrates. We only got 3 left. He was sentenced to death for corrupting the youth and impiety. Okay, that's the reason they sentenced him to death. He was given the option of exile, but he refused it. So, the execution method was a slow-acting poison. His final moments were recorded in Plato's Phaedo. So how did Socrates die? Yeah, Ramos knows. So wasn't that like a favorite of Shakespeare? Didn't Shakespeare talk about drinking hemlock? Socrates died by drinking a cup of hemlock. There he is, he's drinking away right there. His last words were reportedly about a debt he owed for a sacrificed rooster, showing his concern for even the smallest obligation. He was worried about his neighbor's rooster that he had sacrificed to the gods. That's a weird fact. All right, top two. All right, this is a basic fact. His most famous student created one of the first great academies. His ideas were passed down through generations of thinkers. His teaching shaped Western philosophy for thousands of years. He directly influenced the works of Plato, who then later taught Aristotle, who then later taught Alexander. It's all connected. Without Socrates, the foundation of modern philosophy might not exist. And the basic fact is, without Socrates, there might be no Plato or no Aristotle. Can you imagine that? There you go. Aristotle, through Plato's influence, later became the tutor of Alexander the Great. There you go. We talked about that. Spreading Greek philosophy worldwide. Think about that. There's the connection, right? Alexander took Socrates' philosophy worldwide. There you go. Pretty cool. All right, our number one fact is all kind of related. Before him, philosophy mostly focused on nature and the gods. He shifted the focus to ethics, morality, and self-examination. I don't know if that's a good thing. Maybe that's not such a good thing. His questioning style forced people to examine their own beliefs. He is often called the father of Western philosophy. Socrates' influence can still be felt in education, law, and ethics today. But the basic fact is Socrates changed the way humans think forever. His approach to philosophy paved the way for nearly all modern discussions on logic, justice, and knowledge. All right, well, so the game played a little rough. So we'll have to figure out whether we can pursue this methodology for another game in the future or not. But hopefully we learned something tonight. I know I did. All right. Well, that brings it into our regular scheduled programming tonight. See, if I was trying to beat you guys into submission with that. Yes, we know nothing. We know absolutely nothing. Anyway, so this is where I ask if you guys want to do a bonus round or not. I have 2 rounds of 10. One is influential authors, and the other is iconic figures from the 1960s. So if you want to do those, let me know. I need to have some thumbs up. If not, no loss. We'll do it another time. Rhombus is in. Let me know. And we'll get her going. Stewart's in. Okay. Here we go. Let's fire it up. Let's keep the game going. Or let's get the game back going again. The software does something weird with my picture in the corner nowadays. They got to fix that. There's a glitch. All right, here we go. Top 10 influential authors around the world. This author was born in Stratford-upon-Avon in 1564. He wrote 154 sonnets. His plays are categorized into tragedies, comedies, and histories. Very good. So this will be a little easier, huh? We'll see it. We'll see how you keep doing. We'll see if it's all that easy. His work has been translated into every major living language. He is known for writing to be or not to be. That is the question. What's his most famous work? What's his most famous work? The answer, of course, is William Shakespeare. You are all correct. But what's known as his most famous work? At least to the robots. Yeah, Matthew, you're correct. Hamlet it is. William Shakespeare is often called England's national poet and the Bard of Avon. I didn't know that. That's cool. I learned something. This author was born Samuel Clemens in 1835. He grew up along the Mississippi River. He worked as a riverboat pilot before turning to writing. Correct. You are. I shouldn't have given you his real name. That would have been a good question. What's his most famous work? What would you say his most famous work is? His pen name means 2 fathoms deep. Mark Twain means 2 fathoms deep. I didn't know that. He wrote A Boy and a Runaway Slave Traveling Down the Mississippi River. And that's the most famous work. Buddha. Mr. Twain's most famous work. Mark Twain is often referred to as the father of American literature. The father of American literature. Yeah, well, you guys got the general idea. Oh, close. Stuart was very close. It is The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Huckleberry Finn. Number 3. Speaking of British people, this author was born in Hampshire, England, in 1775. She published her works anonymously. Her novels often critique the British landed gentry. Well, that's why she was anonymous, right? She never married. Never married. Huh. She wrote about Elizabeth Bonnet and Mr. Darcy. Who knows who this is? Correct, Stuart, of course. Correct you are. And what's her most famous work according to the robots? Anybody know? She's a fine-looking young lady in this robot portrait. A demure British lady. Pride and Prejudice was the word I was looking for. Pride and Prejudice. There you go. Jane Austen. All right, number 4. Staying on that side of the pond. This author was born in Portsmouth, however you say that, England, in 1812. He worked in a factory as a child due to his father's imprisonment for debt. He used the pen name Boz early in his career. Ooh, Matthew, you're close. You're close. I cannot accept that as the correct answer. His works often address social issues and poverty. There you go, Stuart. Help Matthew out a little there. Perfect. What's his most famous work according to the robot? Charles Dickens is known for creating some of the world's best known fictional characters and is regarded as the greatest novelist of the Victorian era. Yeah, Dickens is correct. A Tale of Two Cities is the work I was looking for. Number 5. This author was born in Moscow, Russia in 1821. He was arrested and sentenced to death, only to be reprieved at the last moment. He suffered from epilepsy throughout his life. His works explore psychology and existentialism. Sounds complicated. He wrote about a man named Raskolnikov, who commits a murder. Incorrect. No, not Karl Marx. This is one of the most famous Russian authors. This is Mr. Dostoevsky. Fyodor Dostoevsky. And I'll tell you that Crime and Punishment was his most famous work. So let's stick with the Russians. And this author was born into a noble family in Russia in 1828. He served in the Crimean War. You know Crimea. He experienced a spiritual crisis and embraced Christian anarchism. What is Christian anarchism? His novels often delve into Russian society and morality. He wrote about the Napoleonic Wars and Russia aristocracy. Correct. Vital. Vital's in the house. Good to see you, man. It's been a while. Been a while. And what was Tolstoy's most famous work? What was Tolstoy's most famous work? Leo Tolstoy is regarded as one of the greatest authors of all time, with Blank and Blake considered his masterpieces. I'll take either one. What did he write? War and Peace and Anna Karenina. Number 7. It's a quick moving round. This author was born Eric Arthur Blair in India in 1903. He fought in the Spanish Civil War. He was critical of totalitarianism and social injustice. He coined the terms Big Brother and thought crime. You guys got that thought crime going on over there in England now. He wrote about a dystopian future under constant surveillance. Matthew has it. George Orwell's 1984 and Animal Farm are seminal works in political literature. You know, I don't know that I've ever read Animal Farm. I've read 1984 several times. Book on tape especially. Yeah, dig that. Number 8. This author was born in Yate, England in 1965. She conceived the idea for her famous series while on a delayed train. She faced numerous rejections before her first book was published. Her books have sparked a major film series and a cultural phenomenon. So her most famous work is, I think we all know this one. She wrote about a boy wizard who attends Hogwarts School in Witchcraft and Wizardry. And it is known as the Blank series. Yes, correct, Matthew. It is the Harry Potter series. J.K. Rowling. These guys are all from England. Bunch of authors over there. A lot of writing. A lot of writing going on. Not like Socrates, right? Remember that? Remember that one fact? Socrates never wrote anything down. If you remember one thing from tonight's show. All right, number 9. This was more obscure. Good luck. This author was born in Arakataka, Colombia in 1927. He started his career as a journalist. He is known for popularizing magical realism. Magical realism. He won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1982, so no slacker. No slacker. He wrote something called the Buendia family over seven generations. Oh, he wrote about the Buendia family over 7 generations. Yes. All right. Does anybody know who this is? Pablo Escobar is incorrect, but you might have known him. This is a gentleman named Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And he wrote something called 100 Years of Solitude. 100 Years of Solitude. Now, number 10, we all know number 10, my favorite author. My favorite author. This author was born in Oak Park, Illinois in 1899. He served as an ambulance driver in World War I. He was part of the lost generation of writers. I love those stories about the Paris cafes, parties, especially the parties. He had a distinct, terse writing style. I like that too. Correct you are, Stuart. Correct you are. My favorite author. I love For Whom the Bell Toll and The Sun Also Rises and all those books. I love all of those. He wrote, the Old Man in the Sea, right? Old Man in the Sea. He wrote about a fisherman with a giant marlin. Ernest Hemingway won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1954 and is known for his adventurous lifestyle and understated prose. And I do have a little related story. I once rode up a ski chairlift with one of his daughters Margot Hemingway. Margot, not Muriel. Muriel's still alive with us, I think. But Margot passed away, but I actually rode up the chairlift with her in a gold lame ski suit. There you go. Little known fact. All right, we're doing iconic figures from the 60s. I think you know this guy. This person was born in Brookline, Massachusetts in 1917. He served in the Navy during World War II. He authored Profiles in Courage, winning a Pulitzer Prize. Did you know that? He authored Profiles in Courage, winning a Pulitzer Prize. He was involved in the Cuban Missile Crisis. Yeah, you know. rhombus. And maybe that's why I like Hemingway, is he liked to drink. Could be. There's a great bar in his town, Ketchum, Idaho. That's where I rode up the ski lift with her. And anyway, there's a great bar there to go after après ski in Ketchum, Idaho. There you go. JFK, of course. JFK. John F. Kennedy's presidency is often remembered for his inspirational speeches and his tragic assassination in 1963, which we're supposed to learn more about very soon. Let's hope they actually release some files. That'd be cool to go to. That's a reason to go to Paris right there. Go to Hemingway's bar. I like to do that. Oh, you know this guy. This person was born in Atlanta, Georgia, not far from me. He was a Baptist minister. He led the Montgomery bus boycott. He delivered the famous "I Have a Dream" speech. Correct, Stuart. Correct, Rhombus. You guys both got it. He was a key figure in the American Civil Rights Movement, and his death is mysterious as well. Hopefully they're going to release those files as well. So we might all learn quite a bit about the United States and our intelligence service. Their dastardly deeds. I'm sure the Brits were involved with them too. That's right. This is Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964. There you go. Number 3. Oh, this is a famous person from the 60s and the 50s. This person was born Norma Jean Mortensen in 1926. She'd be old now. She started her career as a model. She starred in movies like Some Like It Hot and Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Correct. Who can name a couple people she was married to? You guys name any of her famous ex-husbands? She was a cultural icon and sex symbol of the 1950s and 60s. Marilyn Monroe's image and persona have had a long-lasting impact on popular culture in the 1960s. And who can name any of her ex-husbands? She had a few. Several of them were famous. Yes, the guy who wrote Arthur Miller. Arthur Miller. She was never married to Hugh Hefner. And Joe DiMaggio. Correct. Those were the two I was looking for. There were a number of others. All right, number 4. I think you know these guys. This is the only one that's more than one person. This group was formed in Liverpool, England in 1960. Did you know that? They initially played in clubs in Hamburg, Germany. Yeah, those basement clubs in Hamburg. They popularized the mop top haircut. They recorded hits like Hey Jude and Let It Be. Back in the USSR, babe. Back in the USSR. That's one of my favorites. They're considered the most influential band in history of rock music. The Beatles revolutionized music and culture in the 1960s, and their legacy continues to influence artists today. Back in the USSR. The Beatles. Hey, Alex, what's going on, man? We're almost at the end of the bonus round, Alex. So you're coming in at the tail. Tail of the show. We'll just have to make it a marathon, right? I'll just keep bringing up files. This person was born as Cassius Clay in Louisville, Kentucky in 1942. He won a gold medal in boxing at the 1960 Olympics. He changed his name after joining the Nation of Islam. Correct you are, Stuart. This is not Elvis. He was known for his phrase. What was his famous little poetic line? Poetic line from Muhammad Ali. Anybody know? He became a 3-time world boxing champion. Muhammad Ali is celebrated for his boxing prowess and his activism outside the ring. And he was known for a little poetic line. Anybody know it? Yeah, Stuart. Very good. That's exactly what I was looking for. Float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. It's very descriptive. It's very good description. Number 6. This person was born as Robert Zimmerman in 1941. He moved to New York City in 1961 to join the folk music scene. He famously went electric at the Newport Folk Festival in 1965. His songs include, I'll ask you to come up with one of his most famous songs. He actually won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 2016. You were right, Stuart. Stuart is correct. Matthew and Rhombus, you are incorrect. In case that helps. Anybody know? Name one of his most famous songs. Bob Dylan's music and lyrics have had a profound impact on popular music and culture. Bob Dylan, and anybody know one of his famous songs? Going once, going twice. How about Blowing in the Wind and Like a Rolling Stone? Number 7. Yeah, that's another good one. Rainy Day Woman. This person was born in Wapakoneta, Ohio, in 1930. He served as a naval aviator during the Korean War. Very good, Rhombus. Very good. The robots must have been doing a good job on the painting this time. I can't believe you guys couldn't get those Socrates ones from the paintings. He commanded the Apollo 11 mission, of course. He was the first human to walk on the moon. And his famous words were what? What did he say when he stepped foot onto the moon? He said something that is etched in history. He said, what? He said, yeah, you got it. That's one small step for man, one giant step for mankind. There you go. Look at this guy's cool. This guy's on a lot of t-shirts. I don't know why, but he's on a lot of t-shirts. This person was born in Rosario, Argentina in 1928. He studied medicine at the University of Buenos Aires. He traveled through South America on a motorcycle. That's cool. That's cool. He became a prominent figure in the Cuban Revolution. There you go, Stuart. His image became a symbol of rebellion and revolution. It's on a lot of t-shirts now. Does anybody know where he was finally executed. He was executed by. He was charged with a crime and executed, I guess, murder or something. And he was executed in. It was in 1967. No, it wasn't Cuba. It was Bolivia. He was executed in Bolivia. How about that? Yeah. T-shirt guy. Number 9. 2 more. This person was born Andrew something in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He started his career as a commercial illustrator. He used silkscreen printing to create his art. He famously depicted Campbell's soup cans. He was a leading figure in the pop art movement. Not Elton John. Stuart has it. Kind of looks like Elton a little bit. A little bit like Elton. As much as I look like Elton, he looks like Elton. Stuart has it. Yeah, he was born Andrew Warhola. Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol's work explored the relationship between artistic expression, culture, and advertisements. Andy Warhola. Stuart got it. All right, last one of the evening. Going out with a bullet. This person was born Johnny Allen something in Seattle, Washington in 1942. He served as a paratrooper in the 101st Airborne Division. He moved to London in 1966, where his career took off. He played an iconic rendition of the Star Spangled Banner at Woodstock. Rumbos! He is widely regarded as one of the greatest electric guitarists in history. I've already told my story about watching the Jimi Hendrix play the Star Spangled Banner at the midnight show of Woodstock in college. Yeah, has to do with Snoop Dogg. He is widely regarded as one of the greatest electric guitarists. Jimi Hendrix, innovative guitar playing, has influenced countless musicians and remains an iconic figure in rock music. And left-handed. Correct, Matthew. All right, those were 10 icons of the 60s. And that brings our bonus round to an end in our evening of fun and games. Look conclusion. Purple Haze. Yes, exactly. And yeah, the Star Spangled Banner thing was pretty iconic. That movie Woodstock, if you've never watched the movie Woodstock, have a couple beers and watch that thing. It's awesome. Yeah, good game, guys. Sorry, see, Socrates was a little rustic as a game, but hopefully we learned something. I definitely learned that you have to carve it a little different to make it a game. So we'll try to figure out how to do 20 facts about famous people as a game. We'll try to, maybe it's more of just a quiz game and it's not the painting or something. I don't know. Although the painting's just in the background anyway, right? Just in the background anyway. Doesn't make any difference. Yeah, the Clint Eastwood was fun. Fun game. We can try to follow up on that with some of our other favorite actors and directors. There's only one Clint Eastwood, though. There really is only one Clint Eastwood. Yeah, Rhombus was on fire on the video games. when I started making that video game one, it's like I realized that, boy, I never was in that circle. I was just a little too old for the video game circuit. Although I did play World of Warcraft. So there you go. I've played World of Warcraft as recently as like 2 years ago. Anyway, okay. Well, anyway, thanks again, you guys. Always appreciate you hanging out. Yeah, let's do the Ridley Scott. We haven't done the Ridley Scott yet. I've got it on my list, though, Stuart. I definitely do. It's on the list. Anything else? Come on, you got any other ideas? Throw them out. I'm ready. Let's go. Because I've been doing a lot of your ideas. I don't know if you noticed. Hopefully you've noticed. I don't know. Maybe you haven't. It's going to be big someday. Big. The channel's going to be really big someday. We'll keep grinding it. We're just going to keep. We're going to keep grinding it, and sooner or later, people will realize how fun this is. Famous war movies. That's good. Yeah, different categories of movies is good. I think those will come off good. You're off to play video games. Okay. Do you play those first person shooters? Since I know what that means now. All right, guys. Again, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And probably not back until next Sunday. So I apologize. I'm going to be missing Wednesday. I got a couple errands to do this week that are going to take some time and probably can't get it done. So let's just shoot for next Sunday, okay, guys? And I'll see you on Sunday, and we'll have some fun. Maybe we'll do a marathon or something. I'll try to figure it out, and we'll get something going for next Sunday. Take it easy, guys.